What your rank in Bloodstrike Peak mode says about you. Mithril Peak. You probably played one match of Peak and had the absolute worst time ever. You landed at prison and got absolutely obliterated by the sweats that live in this game mode. I'm talking about players who don't miss, players who move like it's a 10,000 gold scrim. You didn't even have time to figure out what was going on. 1 second you're looting, next second you're back in the lobby, and that's when you told yourself, I'm never playing this mode again. And you meant it. Ever since that first Peak experience, you haven't touched it. You avoid it. You see it on the screen and instantly cue something else. Because in your mind, Peak isn't a game mode. It's a punishment. Adamantite Peak. This is the middle ground for your average Peak players. These players are divided into two parts. And where you're at between these two says a lot about what type of player you are. Firstly, you have the sub-2,000 players. These are the players who struggle to get a top 2 placement in Peak because the matches are so sweaty. These players aren't bad at the game, but they aren't at the level they need to be to compete in Peak. With more training, these players can easily push up to higher ranks. But on the other hand, you have the players above 2,000 points. These players are actually pretty good. They are able to keep up in high-skill games, but the biggest problem they have is how much they play. These players have the skill to go past this level, but they lack the consistency. One good session isn't enough at this rank. You have to be able to perform the same way every time you queue up, and that's what separates the players who stay in Adamantite from the ones who move past it. And that brings us to our next players, Radiant Peak. This is where the players who have the discipline and the skill to stay top 1,000 reside. These players aren't just skilled, they grind the leaderboard like it's all that matters. The moment the Peak mode opens, these players are already queuing into a match. They don't wait, they don't hesitate, they're already locked in. What makes them different is the consistency, the tiny decision-making moments, the positioning in late game, the ability to stay calm when everything is on the line. Radiant players are consistent. They know how to climb ranks. They know how to protect their points. And they understand how important every single match is. But at this level, everyone is grinding. Everyone is skilled. And when you're competing against players who live in this mode, even the smallest mistake can cost you everything. Radiant Peak isn't remotely a casual mode. It's competitive, and if you're here, you're not just playing for fun, you're sweating to keep your placement. The Evo Peak players. These players are the peak of unemployment. Once Peak mode opens, they don't go outside, they don't eat, they don't sleep. Nothing matters except one thing: getting a top placement in Peak. And make no mistake, these players are on a whole different level, especially the PC players. Map awareness, flawless. Clutch plays, second to none. Game sense, you'd swear they can see the future. Every rotation is calculated, every fight is intentional. And when it comes to final zones, that's when these players truly shine. Yes, putting aside the fact that some of them probably haven't showered all weekend. These players are the absolute best Bloodstrike has to offer. These players know the map like it's part of them. Every corner, every loot spawn, every angle. They've memorized it all. Consistency is their best trait. While others get lucky or choke under pressure, these players perform every single match. They're disciplined, ruthless, and relentless. And hot take, the best Evo Peak players are better than the top normal ranked leaderboard players. Argue with the wall.